Today we are using properties with rational numbers, and this is kind of a random lesson in the middle of chapter 6. But we're going to get through it together. So we're going to learn to use properties of rational numbers to write equivalent expressions and equations. An art teacher pays $13.89 for 1 box of watercolor brushes. She buys 6 boxes in March and 5 boxes in April. Use the distributive property to write equivalent expressions showing 2 ways to calculate the total cost of the watercolor boxes. Now, we talked about distributive property in the second lesson of this book, second lesson of chapter 1. And remember, it's using parentheses to make it easier to do mental math, because you make your problem easier to multiply and then add together. Okay? So we have the cost per box. It wasn't on sale either month, so it was always $13.89. Okay, and then we would have to multiply $13.89 by 6 for March, and then by 5 in April, right? However, they wrote it in parentheses of 6 plus 5. That's distributive property, where you take $13.89 and you multiply it by 6, and then you take $13.89 and you multiply it by 5, and then you add them together. Or you could do the distributive property and do 6 plus 5 is 11 times $13.89. Okay, so the cost per boxes was $13.89 times the amount she bought in March, which was 6, plus the cost per box was $13.89 times the amount she bought in April, which was 5. Okay, that's how we use the distributive property. So method 1 is to use order of operations. We can say 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6 is 11, and then we can multiply that by $13.89 using our calculator and get $152.79. Okay, or we can use the distributive property and say in March she brought $13.89 worth of, that's how much the boxes was, times 6 plus $13.89 times the number of boxes in April, and she got 5 in April. So we would do the order of operations still, because we have to multiply first from left to right. So $13.89 times 6 is $83.34. $13.89 times 5 is $69.45. And then the order of operations tells us to finally add those together and get $152.79. So you are going to get the same answer no matter how you solve that problem. Whether you add the 2 number of boxes together first to get 11 and then multiply by $13.89, or if you multiply $13.89 by 6 and then $13.89 by 5 and then add them together. Personally, I think this one is a little bit easier because you know 5 plus 6 is 11, and then you just have to multiply. Write an equivalent equation for 3/4 x plus 7 equals 5/6 that does not contain fractions, then solve the equation. I'm going to be honest with you. This is difficult stuff. Okay? So, what we want to do is we want to find the least common multiple of 4 and 6, or our denominators. Okay? So, the least common multiple of our denominators. In this case, I spelled denominators wrong. 4 and 6 are our denominators. Okay, so we have 4, 8, 12, and 6 and 12. So 12 is our common denominator. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply each side by 12. What that does is it helps us get rid of our denominator, which is our goal, so we can solve the equation, because it says that does not contain fractions. So our goal is to get rid of the fractions. So then we simplify, or we cross multiply or cross cancel, and we know 4 goes into 4 once and 4 goes into 12 3 times. So we put a 3 there. And 6 goes into 6 once, and 6 goes into 12 twice. So we put a 2 there and a 1 there. Okay? So now we have all our denominators canceled out. So now we have to go through and we have to start doing the order of operations, which says to multiply first. So 3 times 3 is where they get the 9, and then they bring the x down. Then we have 12 times 7, which is 84, and 2 times 5, which is 10. Okay? Then we have a two-step equation, which we don't even learn about two-step equations till chapter 11. That's why this is confusing that they put this in now. All right, but a two-step equation says we look at the left side. We still move the constant first by doing the opposite. So right now we're adding 84, so we're going to subtract 84 from both sides. We're going to bring our 9x down instead of just an x because there's a 9 in front of it. 10 minus 84 is negative 74. Now we still have a one-step equation, so we're going to look at the side with the variable, and we see a coefficient multiplied by a variable. And the coefficient is 9, so we're going to divide each side by 9, and we get x equals negative 74 ninths. Or we can change that to a mixed number. We put 74 underneath and 9 outside, and we get 8. 8 times 9 is 72. Subtract. The remainder is your numerator over your outside number. So we get 8 and 2 ninths. The soccer team uses a 36.75 liter container to take water to games. The soccer team manager fills 0.75 liter bottles from this. He has used 22.5 liters. How many more 0.75 liter bottles can he fill before he runs out of water? Write and solve an equivalent equation without decimals. So, here we go. We know that the container had a total of 36.75. So I'm going to write that down first. Okay? And we also know that little Mr. Manager has used 22.5 liters. Okay? So we want to know how many more 0.75 liter bottles he can fill before he reaches 36.75. So I'm going to add 0.75x to the front part. So he can fill a certain number of bottles, add 22.5, and get no more than 36.75. So it says to write an equivalent equation without decimals. Okay, so we're going to look at this, and we're going to see how many digits are to the right. We have 2 here, we have 1 here, but we can make that equivalent and make it 2, right? We can just add a 0 there, no big deal. And we have 2 there. So, we need to move the decimal out. So if we have 2 places on each one, that's to the hundredths place, right? We are going to multiply both sides by 100th. And this is supposed to be hundredths. So we're going to multiply the left side by 100 and the right side by 100. What that does is that moves the decimal over 2 places for each decimal number. So we can apply the distributive property how they have, and we're going to do 100 times 0.75x plus 100 times 22.5 equals 100 times 36.75. So it's going to move the decimal twice here, and we get 75x. It's going to move the decimal twice here, and we get 2,250 equals, and it's going to move the decimal twice here, 3,675. Okay, now we have again a two-step equation like we did above. So we look at the side with the variable and we look at the constant. The constant is positive 2,250. It's being added to 75, so we do the opposite and subtract. And we do that to both sides. And when we subtract 2,250 from 3,675, we get 1,400 and 25. Now we're down to a one-step equation. We look at the side with the variable. We see there's a coefficient multiplied by a variable, so we divide both sides by the coefficient. These cancel, and x equals 19. So the team manager can fill 19 more 0.75 liter bottles. Okay, try on your check it out. These are quite a bit harder. Go back through, follow the steps that you were given in your notes, and see what you can do with those. Your homework assignment for this lesson is, honestly, all I want you to do is the check it out problems. What this lesson is teaching you in 7th grade is how to think a little deeper and try and make your problems a little bit easier, because working with whole numbers is easier than working with fractions or decimals. It's easier to get a problem wrong when you're working with fractions and decimals than if you're working with whole numbers. Do I expect you to be able to do these problems perfectly? No. This is something you will learn again in algebra, and it's something that kids in algebra really struggle with as well. So don't feel like you're totally not going to understand math, because this is one lesson, and this one lesson you will not see again. I will not test you over this, but you do have to try those 3 problems, and we're going to work until we get those 3 problems right.